Whoa, overpriced pieces of plastic that I collect. Crazy, incredible. No, um, especially Nintendo. I realize that's a Sega, but okay. So I want to say something about some of the systems and stuff I have. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy collecting. I like collecting this kind of stuff. When I have a little bit of money, I could spend because I hadn't been able to buy as much stuff as I would. I wouldn't have been able to been collecting things as I would like to. Granted, I don't because A, I'm out of space, and B, I've got other things I gotta finish. So hadn't really had the money to do it recently because this is expensive. And unfortunately, I'm very dumb. I'd make very poor financial decisions, and I'm into very expensive hobbies, one of which is cars, and I gotta finish that first because I have a main YouTube channel and I'm trying to finish it. Plus, I just want to finish that first. I've got plenty of games right now I can play, as you can see from my stack of PS2 games up against my filthy wall I need to clean. Whatever. This is more of a storage room anyway. I don't know why the camera's so grainy. Hold on. Hold on one second. Nope, that didn't help whatsoever. Anyway, yeah, especially Nintendo stuff. Nintendo stuff is stupid expensive. I have no idea why Nintendo stuff is so expensive. Like this. Some of the joys of collecting, some of the wonderful things about collecting is market values. Very, very fun stuff. Like, for instance, Rhythm Heaven, I don't know what it's worth now because I own it and I don't care. but but I was like, I have a little bit of money saved up. I got all my bills paid. I've got everything to where I can still afford stuff. If I buy it, it won't break me. I'll spend about $60 on it. That's what I spent on this. I kid you not. I kid you not. A week later, they were $20. Now, this is a complete copy of Useless Plastic with a game included. If I can open it. Am I that weak I can't open it? There we go. Now, the game itself is in a case. It's in a DS case. I should have pulled that out. I forgot I keep all my games in their own case. I don't play my DS as much as I'd like. But yeah, it was $62 after tax for a used, granted it's in really good shape, but used copy of Rhythm Heaven DS. Now, obviously this game is, it didn't sell that well the first run. It's even worse for the Wii version. That one's like $100 something because of course it is, because Nintendo people are insane. But yeah, complete. It is a complete copy, color manual. I know my camera's all over the place. Complete copy, color manual. Very fun, very expensive piece of plastic. Poor financial decisions. This right here, I would love to say I bought it myself, but actually, this was a Christmas gift. Now, it's not what you're thinking. It wasn't a, I got this when I was like, younger. No, this was a recent Christmas gift, as far as like, I think a year or two ago. These are absolutely, this is just like the PlayStation 1. You might not agree with me, but in my opinion, the PlayStation 1, don't get me wrong, I love this console, but it's useless. It is useless in 2021 because anything the PlayStation 2 can do, anything this can do, the PS2 can do, and not to mention emulation, and even if you just want to play a physical disc, Which there's nothing wrong with wanting to play it on original console hardware. That's the reason I have this. I like collecting it, and I like playing on original hardware. I have no, well, I have a little bit. I used to have a friend who all he had was a PS1. All he had was a PS1, so I have a little bit of nostalgia for it, but not much. I really only have it just because I like the PS1 games. I just don't have any because my game store closed. Because of course it did. Because of course my game store closed. That's enough of me being, a bit aggravated with things. No, this is a Nomad. If you don't know what a Nomad was, it was a very light version of the Sega Genesis. Basically, this is a handheld Sega Genesis. It ran off 8 AA batteries and only had a 2-hour lifespan. They'll set you back about $300 something. And this is just some of my stuff. I mean, it's not even counting the consoles and all that fun stuff. My N64 is a little dirty. I don't play that as much as I'd like either. You're gonna hear that a lot. Sorry if you hear voices in the background. I do apologize. Then you have my Game Boy. I actually have 2 of these. I have a silver one and this one. This is, even though it's in rough shape, another very expensive piece of plastic. This one is actually pretty expensive. This is $60, something like that. And I'm not. If I sound like I'm bragging, that's not the intention. I probably should have stated that at the beginning of the video. That is not the intention. Trust me. Trust me. I promise that is not the intention. So sorry if it sounds that way. I really should have stated that at the beginning of the video. I'm just saying what these will set you back is just general information. We're really more so just talking about how expensive it is to buy these chunks of plastic that you can easily emulate for free, despite whatever you might feel on emulation. If you think, oh, I ain't gonna emulate, that's illegal, that's piracy, these billion, I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it. I think emulation is perfectly fine as game preservation. But yeah, as you see, Poke Center. Just some of my collection stuff. It's another stupid piece of plastic, expensive piece of plastic. I think I paid like $120 for this, which is in rough shape. I don't have any batteries in it. I'm just kind of throwing it around. It'll be fine. Yeah, no, I don't know why it took me so long to realize I'm not looking at batteries, huh? Anyway, yeah, it does work. It plays. I actually play that one. Really, I shouldn't. I should put it in a display, but I figure it's wore out anyway. But it's a game console. It's meant to be played. It's really however I feel. I'll either play this one or the silver one if I remember about the silver one. But this I was going to say something about. I was going to say some smirky comment about it being a Nintendo, so that's why it's expensive. No, this is expensive just because it's Pokemon, and it is absurdly rare. It's very expensive. And, of course, you have some of the more stuff, like these. Like this is an example of one. Now, this cartridge is busted. I mean, it works, but the top is broken. The game stores, I was in good standing with them back when they were still open. And he said, I don't know why my employee bought it, because I was talking to the boss, and he was like, I'd sell it to you for what we bought it for. It was $2.50. That's what they bought it for, so I bought Legend of Zelda Focus. Come on. Link's Awakening for the Game Boy, which the label's in really good shape. If the top wasn't cracked, this would be a really good deal. That shit's still a really good deal. It's a fully working game. So, but normally, these I don't understand. Zelda this game has been re-released multiple times. And even remade. But it's still a $30, $40 game just because it says Zelda in the title. The Legend of Zelda. That is the only reason. And it's a cartridge. It's not rare. They made a bajillion of these. It's very common. It's a very common game. It is a very common game. But it's $40, $50. Because people will pay all kinds of money for Legend of Zelda. Nintendo stuff does not devalue. Well, I mean, it does, but its value curve is different. The way their values are, they're different than, like, let's say, I don't know, Gauntlet for the PS2. This is really a bad example. Here, let me grab a better example, actually. Ratchet and Clank. Again, another bad example because it's not complete in box. But if this was a Nintendo game, had Nintendo released this, $40, $50 because it's in the box. Doesn't matter, it's missing manual, any of that. $40, $50. But this game is like an $8 game because it's a PlayStation 2 game. It's a really good game, but Nintendo people, if you like Nintendo, that's fine, whatever. I don't understand why are they so expensive? I mean, even compare it to something like this, Chase HQ, a game you've probably never heard of, and that's because it is a like kind of like Rad Racer or something like that. But I found out this is not a very common game. It's a pretty rare game, but it's not expensive. It's a very cheap game, especially this label. I've never even seen one with one of these labels. I've seen, well, actually, I take that back. I've seen one. I found one for sale and one photo of one with this label. Now, that's probably just because this label is absurdly obscure. The one with the Ferrari and the other car, this looks like a Toyota. It looks like a Supra, actually. Supra is something, I don't know, Kit. Which Kit isn't a Supra, Kit was a Trans Am, but whatever. But that version, I think, is just because it's unknown, because there's 3 versions of this game. I remember looking them up. There's a normal Chase HQ, which kind of looks like this, but does not have the Natsume, or however you say that, badge. It does not have that label. There's one that is completely different. That one is expensive. That's like a $100 game. And then there's this one. The one that is like a normal label, but says Natsume on it. And I know this is an official cart. Fifth focus. Fill focus. Made in Japan. Yeah, see, I know it's an official cart. So, not to mention his war and everything, so that kind of proves to me that it is. I just don't get it. I don't get why people pay so much for Nintendo stuff. I mean, I do, but I don't at the same time. Well, anyway, this is kind of more of a ranty video. Sorry that it came out that way. I really didn't mean it to. I really just kind of was trying to talk about it's expensive to collect stuff. Really just talk about collecting in general. I don't know why I have Bass Hunter 64 out. Very expensive game, by the way. It's at least $4,000 or $5,000 game. At least. You pay your mortgage off of that bad boy. Yeah, I guess with that, though, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you for watching if you made it this far. And if you like cars, I have a second channel. I'm probably going to start uploading a little less to it because I've ran out of things to film until I finish my Caprice, which I do have a 1974 Caprice Classic. That is a 402 big block I'm building. If you want to go see that, I can't promise how long it's going to take, but it will get done eventually, and I will have videos of it eventually. as well as like a go-kart that I have that is a shopping cart. It's hard to describe. But yeah, other than that, thank you for watching and have a good one.